So we're going to talk about two more patterns of movements that you'll find in an exercise program. So one, very common, is an overhead press. So you'll see people going, I'm just going to demonstrate with one arm today, but typically in military press, you can do these on machines, you can do these with dumbbells, kettlebells, any implement going overhead. So the first thing you want to do is just make sure that you have that range of motion. So a simple assessment, just get against the wall, keep your tailbone against, engage the abdomen, head back, and then just you reach one at a time. You can reach both together. See if you actually can get your arm overhead. So if your elbow's bent and you're kind of getting stuck here, you shouldn't be pressing overhead. So if you're kind of coming over here and you're like this and you're getting some binding going on in here or you're shrugging your shoulder, well, there's absolutely no reason why you should be punching overhead with a weight of any kind. You're just going to end up with shoulder pain. It's going to be a problem. So we typically recommend when somebody does not own that range of motion with that unloaded is we'll use an inclined bench or an inclined position, and we'll be pressing into the range that they can get into. A locked out arm, stabilizing their shoulder. We'll work through that motion. We'll work on flexibility until they're able to do those moves. So another thing you can do is we'll help out with form on this, is you can come into this half kneel position, or whether you're seated on a bench, is just go into a single arm variation, so you can really focus on mechanics, trying to get typically bicep kind of around the earlobe. We're still going to keep this gap, so you want to be touching our head. We want to keep the broad shoulders. We're driving up, but most people tend to press up. They kind of come out in here, folding their back. So we got to tighten up our abdomen, maintain neutral spine, press up. It almost feels like you're going behind your head, but that's actually that neutral position. So we press up and back. So people can really damage their back. You're pressing loads overhead and you're getting a big arch under load. You end up thinking that you did some squats earlier and you hurt your back. It was really you were just pressing and jamming your vertebrae into one another with every press that you did week after week. So just pay attention to what's going on in your core. Typically, every move we've showed you, you want to be paying attention to neutral spine. If you don't know how to get there, we have other videos on that. That's a great place to start before you start working out if you can't maintain neutral spine. So very similar to the overhead press, the same thing would happen when we're doing a pull down. So I don't have a cable, but if we're doing a pull down, we're not going to get up here and arch our back to be able to do a pull down. We're definitely not going to be pulling a bar back behind our head and just damaging our shoulders here. We got to work to the range that you own. If you own overhead here, you're holding a cable. We're going to pull, sit back a little bit. We're going to come just under the chin, just about towards the clavicle area, getting our shoulders back, avoiding that same forward posture that you would see in the row. So when somebody pulls down, we got to get a retraction of the shoulders. We're going to stay nice and tall, contracting the abdomen as we pull down. So that's the last movement outside of that overhead press. So again, make sure you can move freely with unloaded position. If you can't do that, you're going to have to modify what you're working on. Don't just work through pain and say, oh, it's just going to iron itself out. I'm going to get good flexibility and mobility doing these moves. It's unlikely to happen. You're going to have to do some other strategies like foam rolling. You're going to have to go through some specific stretching routines, maybe even some corrective exercises with a lighter load in various movements to be able to do that. If you're unsure about that, then obviously you want to speak to a professional to help you out with that. But don't just, no pain, no gain. That doesn't apply to joint pain, back pain, hip pain, knee pain. Any type of pain that you're having is different than muscular fatigue and soreness. If you're having pain, guys, it's not going to go away by just working out more. You can give it some rest, but there's a reason that that's happening. So you want to try to address that before it becomes more of a problem down the road. So those are your tips. Do those 7 different movements. Give those a shot. Let us know how you make out. If you got any questions, shoot us an email or reach out to us.